Right. Sweet Baby Inc. has now decided to run off to Kotaku. They're still around, obviously. Um, and their website's down as well.
Well,
So,
it came back. It came back up. They actually were installing a robot so nobody could data scrape them because they're paranoid right now about what's
I know
happening.
they've also been making changes to their website as well.
Oh
By the
yeah,
way, they
yeah,
changed what they supposedly do to make it
yeah.
appear less woke.
Oh,
And
then it's a good thing that we were able to screen grab that before and even put it on a video that you can find on
yeah,
Midnight's Edge, where we break down their
honestly,
webpage.
this whole thing has been unbelievable. The whole Sweet Baby Inc. thing, crazy. It's Gamergate 2.0. It's hilarious though, which brings me nicely off to this. Guys, if you want to get some Sweet Baby Inc. merch, the good kind, please do grab a shirt at mr8shop.com, Clown World, with Sweet Baby Inc. or a Sweet Baby Inc. mug. How cool is that? Yes, that's my design. I made that.
It looks
So
great. I love it.
there you go. Grab a bit of merch, mr8shop.com. But let's get back to this. So anyway, they ran to Kotaku. I did a video on this earlier, and yeah, this person's not very smart. This person is not very smart who wrote this article. It is. I can't believe how popular the Steam curator list is. The Steam curator page, whatever you want to call it, has absolutely blown up. I think it's like the top 5 in the world now. That's how big it is. It's like over 200,000, but it's literally top 5. And basically, Kotaku wrote this: Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do what some gamers think it does. Now, the whole article is complete nonsense anyway, because the person that wrote it, who is, does it say it? Yeah, it does. Alyssa Mercante, whatever her name is a moron, because she's one of these plebs that thinks that you can't be racist towards white people, for starters. So we can discount most of her opinions because she's stupid.
I hereby say we should call her a more off
I'm more off. I
because
like
she's
that.
more
I
off
like
than
that.
on.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And basically, this whole thing's a puff piece, and then there's been another puff piece by PC Gamer as well. PC Gamer's like nonsense puff piece is basically like, oh hey guys, what's the issue all of a sudden? Sweet Baby Inc. The stuff that they do, they've been doing for a while, and you're like, right, that's not good, then, is it? And there's more companies that do it. Oh, okay. None of this is good. What you're saying is not good. None of this stuff, just because it's normal in the industry doesn't mean, that you should be doing it, right? Look, like, why are all these companies running cover for Sweet Baby Stink? A company called Sweet Baby Inc. has become the target of anti-woke gamers, just gamers, gamers, the majority, because it offers consultancy work, an industry standard service that's been normal for years. Now, I like to say this is confirmation bias, right? So what happens is, because they're right, the video games company hires this woke ass company to come in and consult and basically say, are we woke enough? And they'll go, yes, you're woke enough. So it's just a circle jerk of confirmation bias. Now, if you break that cycle of confirmation bias, things will improve, right? Or things will get so monumentally bad that so many companies will go bankrupt. One of the two. But I just found this absolutely just comedy gold, basically. And also, as well, Sweet Baby Inc. are not the only ones. There's more. So I can't take credit for this, but here's a list of other consultancy companies that propagandize games.
Yep.
There's so many, and a lot of them sort of fund money back into Sweet Baby Inc. or they're
Yeah.
related to Sweet Baby Inc.
Yeah.
It's just
They're
a big
all
circle jerk of
they're all
grifting.
interconnected. Yeah. And lots of funding mechanisms through weird ghosts and baby ghosts, and it's insane. The more you research into this, the more it's just dirty, dark, ugly shows up. It's crazy. And with PC Gamer leaning into this and with everything that's tied to them, think about all the brands they control. 250 Future PLC owns this magazine, PC Gamer. and they own 250 brands, including Kiplinger and Games Radar and all of that. But they are actually super woke because of all the stuff that they have tied with ESG and everything else. And they also have, some issues of their own. Not to mention the fact that this company is going down faster than, well, $3 hoe on nickel night. So their last year is nothing but double digit quarterly percentages declines across the board in viewership, readership, whatever you want to call it, earnings, ad revenue, everything is in the red for these guys. So
Yeah.
I mean, they're all tied together, and it's like, hey, let's all fail together. Hey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's absolutely hilarious. These people. So I obviously, decided to come in on this as well. I was like, look, just because it's normal and has been for a while doesn't mean it's good or should be. The video game industry is dying because of these decisions. And then some pleb, couldn't stand by it, was like, oh, that is not true. It's doing really, really well. So I was like, well, quantify that. I was like, singular sales or percentage of games released that made money, pray tell. And obviously I can't see because they blocked me because they're an idiot. So, but this is the thing. People are like, no, they're doing really well, actually, guys. They're doing really, really well. No, they're not. You tell me, because it objectively isn't, but okay. Well, objectively, it is actually. Objectively, the massive layoffs as of late were due to COVID, overhiring, bloated budgets, and corporate greed. All right. So, out of how many games being released, what percentage make profit?
No answer.
It's all corporate greed.
Greed.
There isn't anything. Like no, you can't tell me. You can't tell me what the percentage made profit, because it's not. Yeah, terrible. So there you go. Sweet Baby Inc., Sweet Baby Stink, Rand Kotaku. All of the companies are running around these consultancies, running cover. And the thing is, look, at the end of the day, do they go in and demand things to be changed? No. But do they go in and coerce companies to change stuff? Yes. We had that literally from Kim Belair, the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc.
Herself.
She literally admitted to doing that. Coercing people to change stuff, threatening people to change stuff with a not an out and out threat, but it is, it's a subversive threat.
It's a tacit threat.
Yeah. This stuff's garbage. It needs to die. The video games industry is dying anyway. You can't keep doing this stuff. As they say themselves, who's the audience? I mean, it is literally, the majority are literally white men. They don't want to play this stuff. Like, you can't social engineer games. You can try, but thank God we live in a capitalist society where these companies will just fall on their ass eventually.
Yeah, I love movies. I was just going to say, I love this mentality. And I was going to say, I think that's where they get it from, is these movies where it's like, these corporations have a heart finally, and they change their mind and, allow the art to go through instead of the capitalism. No, that's not how the world works. Right?
Yeah.
Star Wars is popular not because it's good, but because it made a lot of money. You think they could give a crap about Star Wars if it was good or not, if it didn't make any money? No.
Yeah.
That's why we don't get sequels to these cult hits and stuff all the time. That's why Warner Brothers has kicked themselves in the ass for doing Blade Runner 2049. Because they bought into the hype, and they're like, crap. We didn't realize it was this small of an audience. And that's kind of how they've had to realize these things. If you don't have an audience there to make you money, you're just not going to do it anymore. It's the same thing for us in our business. Star Trek's a great example of that. We don't do, we get asked once in a while from diehard Star Trek fans, are we going to do this video or that video? And it's like, I sadly have to tell them most of the time, probably not. Because you're like the only one who really cares anymore. Sad to say, because we put a video out about Star Trek and nobody will watch it, and it'll kill our algorithm. All that, it's better for us not to do it than it is to actually cover it, because frankly, it would hurt us in the long run. That's the way capitalism works. That's the way corporations work. If you're making a product and your product goes from good to bad, and you're like, well, I wonder why people aren't buying it anymore. Maybe it's because we changed it. Try changing it back and see what happens. That's usually how we figure these things out. New Coke, for instance.
Look at Helldivers 2. How it's blown up. Absolutely massive. Huge game.
I just wanted to play this for everybody.
Yeah.
This is the strategery that they are trying to employ, and I think we talked about it a little on Tuesday.
This is the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., guys.
Yeah. This is Miss Belair.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for, when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want. Because they have to consider, like, I say that out as a joke, but it's actually very, very true, because if you start to consider the people who are player and audience facing and who have to deal with mitigating harm and with keeping the sentiment around their game and their project positive, there's like a genuine value that you can impress upon them with both ethically and financially. You can say this is important. And it's also a valid discussion to have, because if you're working with a very thin narrative budget and you work in AAA, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised or dismayed by the amount of money that marketing can give you.
Scumbag.
You need to terrify your marketing department.
It's just
coerce
absurd,
them,
isn't it?
extort them,
Absolutely absurd.
do these things. By the way, I watched the whole 29 minutes of that presentation from the Gamers Development Conference, Gaming Development Conference, and the GDC is no such thing anymore. By the way.
Well, there you go then. Anything else to add on this, guys? Anything you want to sort of chime in on? I just thought it was funny. I've enjoyed covering this video game nonsense as it's come out.
I'm going to be dropping a video on it tonight, so I'm with you, bro.
We dropped one earlier today, and what I would say is I'm so happy that this is happening, because this is exactly what needs to happen. People need to get their eyes up to what is going on here and why every single cultural expression sucks so badly right now. And I'm not going to say it's just because of companies like Sweet Baby Inc., because it isn't, but they are part of the system in place which ensures that everything sucks now. They are part of the problem. Their service, to the extent of which it can even be called that, is worse than useless. What they do is sensitivity readings, and you never need a sensitivity reading. You need a fact check. A fact check is what makes your content better. A sensitivity reading is basically just, oh, you're white, you can't write this. You can't write this about the people of color or people of other genders and stuff like that. So you need to change this, you need to bring this up to the forefront, and shame on you. But not as much shame if you didn't bring these in the first place. It's basically policing white writers. That's what sensitivity reading is all about. That's what this company does. Is basically just struggle session and bring out the activism at the expense of making money. And it's a very, very good thing that this has exploded the way that it has. More people are aware of this. And now this is what I like the most. It doesn't stop with Sweet Baby Inc. What we've seen in the past 24 hours is more and more people being aware of, oh, there's more companies doing this. Let's find those as well. That's exactly what needs to happen here. And people just lay off of modern AAA games. In fact, any game that uses these servers that has like the AI, I mean, gamers, seriously, control yourself. Don't buy them. That's all you have to do.
They're always shit anyway. The thing is,
they've got money.
Well, they've got a budget to hire these absolute wankers to come in, right? Sorry, you keep selling fundamentally broken games anyway. Why don't you spend more money on fixing a game before it releases than hiring these absolute dickheads? Like, what are you? Excuse the language. It's like the game would be cheaper. These games are extortion. It's so expensive now, extortionately expensive. Well, why? Because you're epic waste going on. Waste of money. You waste money on these plebs. That's got to come from somewhere. Where does it come from? You. The buyer. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. Anyway, let's shuffle on, shall we? Oh, no, sorry. We've got a Sci-Fi Quest for $1. Says, no one at Crybaby Inc. is smart. They're hypocrites who themselves are racist and genderist.
Absolutely.
Oh, but you can't be racist against white people. That's funny.
No, they changed the definition.
Yeah, true.